Hey everyone, welcome back. So in just 23 days, Social Security is going to be increasing payments for all beneficiaries of Social Security, whether you're a retiree, whether you receive SSI, or whether you receive SSDI. Plus, we have new changes potentially on the horizon that would be starting at some point in 2026 as well. In today's video, we are going to be covering everything that you need to know. But before we go ahead and dive into it for today, if you would like to receive up to $200 in free stock or $200 in free cash, in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Robinhood. All you have to do is once you click on that link is just sign up for a free account and then simply link your bank account. You do not even have to make an opening deposit. At that point in time, Robinhood will be sending you one free stock worth all the way up to $200. And if you'd rather just have the cash, all you have to do is once you receive the free stock is just sell it for what it's worth and then transfer the cash value right back to your bank account. Okay, so diving right into it for today. So once again, in just 23 days, all Social Security beneficiaries are finally going to be receiving their increase. We are going to be getting into that just a little bit later, but recently in Congress, the House passed a couple of different bills that would bring new changes to Social Security. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this, what those changes would be exactly. So according to CNBC, Social Security changes on the table as House bills advance new retirement age terms, more ID theft services. So first off, there would be new terms for Social Security claiming ages under this new bill. This is bipartisan. They say that eligibility for Social Security retirement benefits start at age 62. For most individuals, it pays to wait, particularly because the amount of monthly benefits to stand to receive increases with time. By claiming what is now called the full retirement age, typically age 66 to 67, based on your birth year, beneficiaries stand to receive 100% of the benefits they have earned. And by delaying even longer, up to age 70, they stand to receive an 8% benefit boost for each year past the full retirement age. Nevertheless, many Americans don't wait that long. Research published in 2022 found that just more than 10% of claimants wait until age 70, and in the past 2 decades, the share of retirees claiming at age 62 has dropped, which of course is a good thing, according to the Center for Retirement Research at Boston College. Yet, data from earlier this year shows that more people may be claiming as early as age 62, including high earners, according to the Urban Institute. So over the past few years, we have seen that a larger chunk of Americans are now deciding to claim at the earliest possible age at 62, perhaps because, they might be fearful that Social Security may not be around. They've seen their reports that at some point in 2032 or 2033, they're going to have to cut benefits across the board by anywhere between, let's say, 20-26%. Maybe a lot of Americans are now fearful that Social Security is not going to be a program around for the long haul. So instead of waiting all the way until the age of 78 more years, they decided to start collecting at 62. But if Social Security does, in fact, stay around for the long haul, which I think that it is going to, that could actually backfire in terms of receiving a lot less in monthly benefits than what they would have been receiving if they waited until their full retirement age of 67, or even, the max benefits age at the age of 70. So what they're going to do in this change, under this new bill, they're going to have new defined terms for each age. So instead of 62 being the earliest retirement age, they're instead going to change that into, I guess, like the lowest benefit age, hopefully making it so it seems more obvious, I guess, to people about to claim for Social Security that at 62 is not necessarily the earliest possible age that you can start receiving Social Security benefits, but instead it's the earliest age, but also the age in which you receive the lowest possible benefit. So they go on here to say that a new bipartisan bill, the Claiming Age Clarity Act from Representatives Lloyd Smucker, Don Bayer, would change the way retirement ages are described with the goal of better reflecting those trade-offs. So age 62, which is currently called the early eligibility age, would instead be called the minimum monthly benefit age. Then the full retirement age would instead be called the standard monthly benefit age. And then finally at age 70 would be referred to as the maximum monthly benefit age. This, of course, would, sort of come as a way of hopefully making it so Americans at least wait until the age of 67, their full retirement age, or possible, waiting all the way until the age of 70. That way the retirement goes a lot smoother. They receive more in monthly benefits. But of course, again, it's not always possible for people to wait all the way until their full retirement age or until 70. A lot of people are forced sort of into retirement because of an injury or something like that. Now, the second change, possibly coming next year, has to do with enhanced services for identity theft victims. So a bill proposed by Representative David Kustoff, the Improving Social Security Service to Victims of Identity Theft Act, would require the agency to provide a single point of contact to better help consumers resolve the situation in a timely manner. So of course that would help there. And then a third bill has to do with the replacement of Social Security numbers for children. So right now, a third bill called the Social Security Child Protection Act would require the Social Security Administration to issue a new Social Security number to children under 14 if their Social Security card was lost or stolen in the mail. And actually, a 2022 Javelin Strategy and Research study found that 915,000 children had been victims of identity fraud that year, prompting average costs of $1,128 for a single household and requiring an average of 16 hours to resolve. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not those bipartisan bills can pass the Senate as well and get onto Trump's desk to be signed into law. Again, we'll keep our eyes peeled for that one. Now, as far as increases go, again, in 23 days, Social Security is going to start rolling out increased payments to all beneficiaries. The first one, of course, is going to be coming on December 31st. Once again, in 23 days, that payment is going to be going to SSI beneficiaries. So according to the Motley Fool, the 2026 Social Security COLA is final, but retirees need to brace for this big blow. What exactly is that? So the Social Security cost of living adjustment has been finalized for 2026. In an announcement on October 24th, the Social Security Administration told retirees and other beneficiaries that a 2.8% raise is coming next year. This is a larger increase than the one recipients got in 2025 when benefits rose by just 2.5%. Both the 2025 and 2026 raises are the first COLAs that dropped below 3% in the post-pandemic era, and these smaller increases followed a 5.9% raise in 2022, an 8.7% increase in 2023, and a 3.2% bump in 2024. Now, of course, retirees need to face the reality of the 2026 COLA. So the harsh truth about the upcoming COLA is that retirees' checks won't increase by the full amount expected or even close to that amount. The reason for that, of course, is Medicare costs. So retirees who are signed up for Medicare coverage, which includes most Americans age 65 and over, are facing a big blow in 2026 because premiums for Part B are going up by a lot. These premiums are typically withdrawn directly from Social Security checks prior to the payments being deposited, so retirees will end up with far less extra money than the 2.8% COLA would suggest. So let's say, for example, that a retiree is getting a monthly benefit of around $2,000, which is actually pretty close to average. In that case, a 2.8% raise on a $2,000 benefit would, in theory, result in Social Security checks going up by right around $56 a month. But of course, this isn't necessarily exact because the formula used by the SSA to apply COLAs is a little more complicated than just adding 2.8% to the current benefit. Still, the estimate is close, but rising Medicare premiums have come out of this $56 and they'll eat up a lot of that. Now, as far as how much damage rising Medicare Part B premiums will do, they are going to be increasing by nearly 10% in 2026. And while typical retirees paid $185 per month for premiums in 2025, they'll pay $202.90 per month in 2026, and the extra $17.90 will come directly off the raise for most. So a $56 raise would actually result in checks increasing by only $38.10 next year instead of the expected $56. So of course, even with this increase of 2.8%, the Medicare Part B premium at the same time is also going to be rising at a pretty substantial raise. So again, as I mentioned there, even though you might be receiving an increase from the 2.8% of $56 per month, the Medicare Part B premium at the exact same time is also going to be raising going up. So your increase is actually only going to be $38.10 next year instead of perhaps $56. But again, leave your thoughts and comments below. Do you think that 2.8% is enough? There have been some folks in Washington really pushing for a way for a change in which they calculate these cost of living adjustments perhaps over to the CPIE, because they believe the 2.8% increase is just not enough to keep up with inflation. But of course, I would love to read your thoughts and comments below. But that's all we have for today's video. And as always, I will see you in the next one.